Okay, let's take a look here. So we've got Platinum, Tank mostly, and some DPS. Let me actually pull up the replay codes really fast to make sure that I can spot which one you are. I assume I'll be able to. I'm doubly sure. I believe Kasuma is the name here. Yeah, Kasuma. This is going to be Ramattra all the way through. Platinum Ramattra, a little bit of Roadhog, a little bit more of Roadhog, a little bit more of Ramattra towards the end, and then we'll look at the other one, which is going to be Rialto. And let's see if we get a kind of a theme here between this one. It's Rialto. We start Hog. We start Hog. We go Sigma. We go more Hog, more Hog, more Hog. Okay, sounds good. And then a little bit of Ram at the end. So it looks like we're going to be looking at both Ramattra and Roadhog. This is Platinum. This is Kasuma. What do you hope to get out of the session? Because this is a replay review, we'll focus to be a little bit more on the point with the gameplay feedback. But general understanding of the game, how to engage fights better as a tank. Around 4 hours per day, so we're getting some good reps in on both Roadhog and Ram. Obviously, in terms of hero pool wise, I would generally recommend anywhere from 1 to 3 characters to play and grind those characters consistently, so you're able to improve the micro, macro, positioning, all that kind of stuff, and to make significant strides with the goals of the character. It's not that tank plays significantly different necessarily, but that it's important to get good at the micro and the individual aspects of each individual character. So, goals-wise, I want to feel and play better. I want to feel like I played skillfully, win or lose. I don't play not knowing what I'm doing. That's fine. Obviously, as you get better, you will play versus better enemies. Better enemies are going to force more mistakes. Better enemies are going to confuse you more. They're going to force and make you feel silly at times, more so than your plat teammates will. So I appreciate in the short term kind of setting that as a goal, but as you actually get better, you're still going to have moments where you look or feel confused or lost. That's just the nature of a skill-based matchmakers. Like, there's not going to be, oh, you get so good at your aim that you hop into a random lobby like the old Call of Duty Black Ops 1 days, and you're probably going to be the best player in the lobby consistently. That just never really happens. If you're the best player in the lobby, that's probably due to a matchmaking error or the fact that they just couldn't find enough players, and so they just had to make the best thing happen. So in terms of your other goal, which is to get into Diamond, I enjoy the competitiveness. We'll see what we can do. In terms of playtime, that's not a problem. 4 hours of playtime. If it's even close to being deliberate practice and focused, it's good. I feel like I'm doing my job as a tank, but I feel like my DPS are struggling and dying because of me. I'm not sure what I'm doing wrong. I get frustrated and end up playing Hog as a DPS, okay? I mean, the differences between DPS and tank are, like, pretty small. I think the big difference is that you're able to hold attention for longer as a tank, whereas a DPS is not able to hold attention for as long because he doesn't have the same mitigation and health pool. So when you say you're playing Hog as a DPS, I mean, yeah, I mean, you're doing damage, you're applying pressure, you're trying to secure kills, and when you don't secure kills, you make a big ruckus that opens up your DPS and supports her opportunities, right? That's kind of how tanking works, right? So what we'll do is maybe if you mean you're playing DPS or Hog as a tank, you're maybe kind of going in ahead of your team or by yourself or always flanking when maybe the flanks aren't that good. So we'll look at it and we'll give you some objective measures here. 6 hours of sleep, not terrible, could be a little bit better. I was in and out of Plat 1, Lat 2 last season, but went down to Gold 1 during Drive, and I can't rank back up again. Okay, so the number one goal when you're practicing is to go in with a purpose that you are playing the game for this reason. I'm playing to work on my hook placement in terms of I tend to hook too high or hook too low, or I don't crosshair placement my hook on corners. I swing far too wide. I throw my vortex before the fight starts. I throw my vortex and miss it because I'm just not aiming it. I misplace my shield. I use Nemesis form and I forget to look at my HP so I don't block in time. I don't know what to do with whole hog. I have no idea how to use the ultimate, so I just use it randomly. I'm not really trying anything new. That's what practice is addressing those concerns, is going in with a purpose of what you're going to practice this game. And what we're going to do today is we're going to give you those things to practice. But this is not going to replace practice. This is going to be some knowledge and some ideas of how you should practice, but the responsibility is still going to be on you to actually take these and then apply these in game, win or loss. Bad DPS, good DPS. Best player in the lobby or worst player in the lobby. It doesn't matter. You must practice these things. You want to get to Diamond, you must play like a Diamond Roadhog. And to compare you right now and a Diamond Roadhog that you want to be, the Diamond Roadhog is going to do every skill better than you. So we need to sharpen those skills up, and the only way to consistently sharpen those skills up, once you've played the game for a certain amount of hours, is to practice. and to not play to win, but to practice to sharpen the skills that you have. If you're just mindlessly queuing or tilt queuing or just playing or randomly swapping heroes or not really going in with any deliberate sort of focus, you're going to get plateaued and you're going to stay around where you're at right now. The only way to get better is to want to get better and to just apply yourself over and over and over again. Obviously, we're going to focus on Ramattra, Roadhog because those are the characters that you're playing the most in these codes. I hope that that is your hero pool. If it's not, then you're going to want to focus your hours on whatever characters that you're playing. So let's go ahead and get started here. If you have any additional questions, just shoot me a message. We'll start with this one. This is the first one that you sent me. Let's actually go to the Gibraltar because that's the first one you sent me, and that has a good split with Ram and Roadhog. And depending on time, okay, so this is the Gib here. We can look at that Rialto one as well. Ramattra and Roadhog are similar in principle in the fact that they both have like short, medium range options and sometimes even longer range. Your job is to shoot enemies and to try to punch enemies as an end goal. The problem needs to be, how do I shoot enemies from a distance and then find a way to get close to them so that I can shoot them some more. Nemesis form is generally your best form to 1v1 targets, not because it does higher DPS necessarily, but because it has the highest combination of both survivability and pick potential. So for you is you're going to shoot and you're going to wait on defense until the enemies get close enough, and then you're going to look for opportunities to push them with your
Attackers incoming. Stop the payload.
She's lagging. Okay. To look to push them with your punches. So let's take a look here. Let's actually turn up the game audio a little bit louder because I don't have to listen to anybody else. It's just me and my voice. So, where is your team fighting right now? Somewhere over here. So you to push over here when your team has nothing to shoot in return would be a waste. Now, if the Doomfist and the Genji were to dive and then you were to try to trade backline, that would be fine. But the ultimate goal of all tanks is to pressure the enemy at the same time as your team. So you know your team is back here. So you actually don't need to back up here because this Hanzo is walking into your space. You're allowed to hold the space. Just don't go way over here where your team cannot help you. That only applies when your team has nothing to shoot. Like, let's say there's a dive tank, they dive your backline, and then you dive their backline. That's fine. Which tank wins? I don't know. Who's better? But if there's nothing happening, then that's when you shouldn't really back off. So right now, you're putting a lot of attention on Doomfist, which is fine if he's the only one that you can shoot. But obviously, in this particular circumstance here, now the Genji's easier to pressure because Genji has a smaller health pool. This is where you Nemesis. They have closed the distance on you, or you have closed the distance on them. It doesn't matter. The point being is there's a squishy in front of your face. This is where you're going to use your Nemesis. There's nade. There's Genji. Now you block. You did not block. You die. That's as simple as. Ramattra's viability comes through his ability to live engages. Even here, this punch right here, this is what kills you. This, if you block here, you will stay at 200 HP, and you will be able to live this. I know it sounds insane, but that's Ramattra. You have a ridiculous amount of damage mitigation when you're blocking, and with all the threats in front of you, you block, your Ana heals you, you live. You got anti-naded, there's nothing you can do about that. The shield was pretty reasonable, it was just a good nade from the Ana. You just didn't block because you didn't know how much HP that you were. Now, it wasn't an egregious error, you did get bursted fast, but you cannot die like that as Ramattra when you have block. Good job on the Genji though. Good shield here. Allows you to walk forward. Good vortex. And I don't even like the fact that you're not immediately looking at the Doomfist. You're going to shoot this Hanzo until you can't shoot him anymore. Or he's just going to freaking die. And then there we go. What's your HP like? Well, it's not low, so don't back off. Good job. I really like how deliberate we are with both our vortex and our shields. It's not always perfect, but this is a decent start. Okay. Let's take some space, regroup with our team, try to retake high ground, and see what we can do. No guessing with your vortex. No guessing with your vortex. It is a 12-second cooldown. You guess with vortex, you throw the game. Do not guess with your vortex. React with a vortex. Wait for them to walk in, then use it accordingly, so that even if you miss it, you force them to leave this position. This is a bad vortex. It ends up working accidentally. That is not good. This shield's fine. It allows you to do some damage at the same time. But unfortunately, you fed punch. Okay, let's talk about the mistakes here. No guessing with vortex. No feeding punch. Beyond that, it's okay. No guessing with Vortex. So you just Vortexed and shielded too late. Doom versus Ramattra is really just a question of which one of you is going to do more and take less damage. Your matchup in the 1v1 isn't all that good, but you just fed punch and then just didn't you have a good use for your Vortex. That's all there is to it. You need to die here. Now, I'm concerned. I don't like what I just saw. Maybe it's just a one-time thing here, but your Ana just died to an ultimate. There's really not a whole lot that she can do. So what are we doing right now? Is it like, I mean, like this fight, you could be trading somebody right now or disengaging. So I hope we don't see this again, because like you're taking unnecessary damage. Like you could just die or reset here. Like this fight is not lost. You set off, yeah, okay, good. Okay, you're gambling to feed punch to get the kill, but then that ends up killing Reaper. Okay. Perk is fine. We aren't quite able to get there in time. Okay, what's going on here? What's going on here? Like, you know, you don't have to treat ranked like it's the biggest deal of all time here, right? Like, okay, whatever, I'm just gonna die here. But like, if your goal is to improve, like, this is not how you improve. Like, this is, if you're playing basketball and you want to get better at basketball, right? You don't throw the ball off the court. It's like, okay, you'd C9'd. It's fine. It happens. It's not the end of the world. Get a trade. Get out. Die. Do something. You're wasting resources here, right? This is now the second fight in a row where you kind of like, it's like we're like Jim Halpert in the office, like looking at the camera like, oh, can you believe that, right? Like, you paid money for the session, right? So do something. The things that you need to be doing are not doing that, number one, but also being a little bit more precise with your Vortex, not guessing whether it's going to do anything or not. And then crucially, just being a little bit faster to block when you get low. Okay, let's get him. So we can drop and pressure stuff. This Vortex is fine. It's good. It ends up hitting enemies. We're going to drop. We're going to shield. Shielding to keep... Shield is allowing you to shoot for free here. I would just focus on what you can reach here, which just so happens to be squishies. I don't love the ult here because the ult is only a slight amplification of what you already do. One of the good ways you can use ult is to kind of refresh your nemesis form. So like if you go in here and you're like, oh, I don't know if I can get to that Ana, then yeah, you can use it. Or if you're getting low, you can use it. So I don't hate this ultimate that much. It's fine to just use it, but yeah. More of a minor detail. But yeah, we're doing things. We shielded, we vortexed something. Then we just shot and punched people that were close. That's fine. Okay, where are we fighting? Where should you be? You could take the high ground here. You could play the choke. Your choice. I'll take the high ground. That's all right. Now, you don't need to stand on top of the backline where the Doomfist is going to punch because you could be holding here and shooting him or holding here before he even punches. It's really hard to peel, or in other words, protect your backline from a Doomfist by catching the Doomfist engage. You get what I'm saying? It's oftentimes more because like outside of Vortex, there's not a lot you can do. So just instead take a position where you can pressure their backline and shoot the Doomfist before he goes in. So let's see what you do here. This is a little better, but the problem is that this is a little far. So when I asked you to go high ground, I was thinking something more like here where your team can still see, and yet you can get a little bit more pressure for your nemesis form from here. So high ground is not good by itself. The ultimate goal of the Ramattra is to punch squishies in the face, but you need to find a clever cover corner way to do that, and this is just a little far. Even with your shield, even with your shots, you just don't have the consistent range to do that consistently. I don't mind this. Like even that. Lock in, mate. Lock in. This is a Genji blade. You kill this son of a gun. Get him. Get him. Get him. You got him. Take a second. You lost him for a second. It happens. But this doesn't mean like, haha, look at the camera, Jim Halpert. Like, go kill the fricker. This guy's name is Hayden. Like this in the year of our Lord 2025. Who the frick is named Hayden? Kill this guy. Kill him. Don't drop. What are you punching now? Go deal with that threat. Good Vortex. Shield is a little rushed because they'd already backed off. So don't just Vortex shield just because it's a cycle you always do. Use your sense. Vortex, they run away. Okay, then don't shield. Walk forward and then you can chase even deeper with shield. This Genji is still a problem. He just killed 2. Oh, my days. All right, get him. Sure? Nice. Good stuff. Good job. Good job. Good job. Nice job. Even just canceling your cooldown there. You have this habit here. Here's the habit, okay? So the vortex placement is not precise. That's a mistake. Using the vortex here was fine. You just missed it. Okay, unfortunate. But you have this autopilot of vortex in the shield, vortex in the shield, vortex in the shield, which is sometimes fine, often fine, but that you don't want to just get to these systems to where I always do that. That's not good enough. We're not aiming for gold here, right? You're aiming for diamond, right? So you need to be thoughtful. What is this shield really protecting you from? It's a 13-second, 12-second long cooldown. So right now, he's gone. And now instead of shielding the soldier or walking up and taking the duel here or anything else, you don't have shield anymore. This is a problem. You still don't have your shield, by the way. Still. This is fine. I mean, he was there. It's just a little bit unfortunate. Vortex misses. We need to get out. Probably would have stayed high ground there. That shield's okay. It was trying to protect you from the enemy team, but I think you've lost at this point. So there needs to be a more deliberate focus on I need to find a short-range corner so that I can reach squishies to punch. If a tank walks into me, I punish the tank. I'm very good at punishing tank, but I'm very slow. So if the tank avoids me, then I just shoot something else. I use my vortex on anything that I can see that gets close. I use my shield to cut off healing or to do damage and so on, but I don't just go vortex shield, vortex shield, vortex shield, vortex shield just because. Okay. Sure, it's a good shield, but who are you vortexing? Now, I know you're going to throw your vortex here, but maybe you should actually take a second here. Right? Take a second. Come on, turn the brain on. So you got an autopilot with your vortex shield, which is fine, but I want you to go into some games with Ramattra, I'm going to say 30% randomly, somewhere around there of your games, and really be precise about when should I use my vortex? When should I use my shield? Should I just use it both at the same time all the time? Sometimes, sometimes not. Right? You're smart enough to know what you should vortex here. You should probably vortex this Genji, but don't throw it at him. Throw it to the side. Your intention here was almost to just throw the vortex in the corner without really any deliberate action of why you would do it there. Sure. Careful, you're a little in the open here, so find your corner. Good block, good block, good block, great block. And this is Ramattra, so you're doing a good job with it. Nice job. No! He did it again! Okay, you gotta be a little more deliberate about this. Okay. Shield's fine. We're definitely using that to shoot. We're feeding a lot of punches, so you need to be careful with that. And now we need to punch. Or just block. Vortex misses. We need to block. Okay. All right, Jim Halpert. Listen, buddy. You've wasted 2 vortexes. Okay. We were a little slow with punching here. We could have gone for this Moira right here. So we're a little slow. And then you miss your vortex, so this is the 3rd vortex that we've now wasted, right? I mean, if you hit Doomfist here or a soldier here, it's really nice. Like, you could vortex this soldier and actually kill this guy, right? That would be really nice for you. I mean, you've lost this fight, but you can get a trade here, right? And you might not have lost this fight if you've hit one of those vortexes or whatever. Point being, this fight is not lost. It's lost in terms of you're not going to win it, but as in you might set yourself up for success by getting a trade or forcing a cooldown, or maybe they had nano here, and if you punch on these, maybe they on a panics and nanos, and then you kind of come into that fight with 1 fierce support ult. This kind of just standing at the screen, absorbing resources, and not even buying time for your team has to go. This has to go. This is not serious gameplay, right? You're not going to get better doing this, because even if this fight is lost, your goal with Ram is to get good at Ram, which means under pressure, can I still land? Even if I lose, even if I don't get a kill, don't force any resource, don't get nothing. I need to practice hitting your punches. This is a real game. This is how you practice hitting your punches. You don't practice in the practice range. You don't practice in deathmatch or quick play. You practice in ranked. This is where you're supposed to practice hitting all of your punches and hitting your vortexes and focusing on maybe dodging sleep dart around the ship. Like, there's all sorts of skills you could be practicing right now, but you're practicing looking at the camera. You know? This is not what we're here to do. I'm not saying that you have to sweat and cry and, like, strain for everything that you do, but if you want to get better, there has to be some desire to get better, right? And this is not, I'm not seeing it right now. Sure, you got a touch. That was a decent shield. It was needed because you would have been shot otherwise. Don't mind that. I like the vortex. You know exactly where it's going. You try to aim it, and it doesn't quite get it because it's a little bit of an uphill thing, and so you missed it, but you're trying. You're really aiming for it. It didn't quite get there. So this time the shield vortex was good. That was good. It didn't work, but I like the intention. That was good. Now, I would probably stay around my shield first. Good shots. You're getting a little low. I'd block. I'd block. Okay, now you're back, so you're good. Good, sure. Sure. Good vortex, good shield. Nicely done. That shoves him into an awkward location, otherwise he takes damage. Yes, good job. Nice job. Very nice. Good stuff, good stuff. That was good, that was good. Okay, let's look back at your cooldowns here. You see it again, it's the shield in the corner, which is probably fine because that shield is allowing you to do damage, otherwise you get your face blown off. But then Vortex here is not really aimed specifically, right? You gotta ask, if I ask you, who is this Vortex aimed for and why? Would you be able to tell me? Backline? Maybe? Well then, what about the Doom? What about the Genji? Which backline are you aiming for? Should you do it now or should you wait 2 or 3 seconds and then do it? But when they take a little bit of space. You get what I'm saying? If you're not putting that level of forethought into what you're doing, then that needs to improve. That's not every game. Some games are going to work on using your block sooner. Some games are going to work on your ultimate. Some games are going to work on your mechanical accuracy with using your little staff, right? But this game is highlighting that there's a lot of little things that you should work on in isolation, and one of those things is being deliberate with your CDs. Some of your games with RAM are going to be CD games. Some of your games with RAM are going to be mechanical games. Some games with RAM are going to be positioning games. Right now, kind of highlighting that we could work on all of these. I like this corner here. I like what we're doing. I like that vortex. It just wasn't deliberately aimed where it needed to be, so it misses again. So if you get the vortex here, we're cooking. I wouldn't mind shield here because you are being pushed. So this, again, is a situation where vortex shield is fine, right? It's not that you can't use them together. Of course you can. It's really good. Sometimes it's not good, though. This is fine. I like this. Good job. Using that nemesis form. Good. Sure, 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 sure. Yep, it's fine. Hold your block, hold your block, hold your block, hold your block. It's okay. Good vortex in terms of your intention. Good shield because that allows you to do some damage here. Good job. You can nemesis form this again. Yeah. Yes, now block. Block, block, block. Just a little slow with the block. So that one you said, I'm going to die, but I'm going to get this trade. I think it's worth it. Yeah, sure. Fine with me. Because if you blocked, you don't get the kill there. That's fine. That's all right. Only thing I would say here is this is why it's so important to be deliberate with your vortex, right? So like right here, if you'd been aware of its cooldown coming up right now, this vortex guarantees this kill, right? So just punch, vortex, punch, right? Something you can do. But you know what? Nice punches. Nice to see that we didn't just stare at the camera. We actually tried. And now we're in a situation where that one kill is crucial. If you guys can get out here, there's a chance that you guys can even retake this because you lived. I mean, we have Nano for crying out loud, right? That Ana dies, they've already capped. Or that Ana lives, rather. Shield was a little weird, because he runs as soon as you look at him. So in hindsight, not the best. Sure. Good vortex. That you were cutting off their escape. Let's keep walking here. Good job. Good job. Good job. Good job. What is this? What's the joke here? You know? Come on, win the fight. Put him in the coffin. You know? Come on, let's go. You know, like, let's go. Punch him in the throat. End it. You're that guy. Like we've seen some of your mechanical moments. It's pretty good. This shield is lazy, right? You didn't even see if anybody was peeking you. So you throw your shield in anticipation. Don't anticipate with Ramattra's shield unless you're worrying about a big sleep dart or a nade, which that's obviously not a problem right here. React. Nothing you can do about it. Let's hold this corner. Let's get a trade. Don't chase this. This guy, you're not going to kill him. You're not going to kill him. Get a trade here. Hold this corner. Hold your block. Hold your vortex. Now, are we going to Jim Halpert this? I mean, it doesn't matter, to be honest with you, at this point, but we can still practice. Okay, we didn't Jim Halpert. Okay, look at you. We're growing. Okay. So, main things to work on. I want vortex and shield placement to not just be practice in terms of the placement of where you're doing it, but also the order. When do you shield versus when do you vortex? When do you vortex? When do you shield? Do you use one or the other? Do you use both? And what order do you use them? This has to be done much more deliberately with a lot more intention, okay? Number 2, I want you finding corners where you can contest backline without necessarily playing in the open. Obviously, this last third point here is a really easy point for Ramattra, right? But second one was a lot more complicated. It's why Ramattra's not very good on this map, right? But there's still an angle or a corner or cover, something that you can do to help keep that backline honest. Finally, and honestly, most importantly, stop Jim Halperting. Win the fight. Get a trade. practice your skill. Do your thing. This is not about winning, but it's about practicing. It should be going in with, I'm going to work on this vortex. I'm going to work on this shield. I'm going to work on managing my HP. Maybe that's the other thing to work on with Ram too. Okay, let's look at Roadhog. Roadhog has a bit more range and is a very cyclical character. So you need to find an angle and find a sight line. That wasn't a very, I mean, all right, come on now. We got to lock in a little bit better than that. So one of the things with hook is to never waste a hook. And by waste, I mean you never throw your hook just to throw it. Look at the situation, read their movement, give yourself half of a second, the same thing that I'm asking you to do with Vortex and Shield, and really go, where is this person? Right? Give yourself a second. Really aim that hook. This is fine. He's low. Go finish him off. Okay. Right? Come on now. You're better than that. He was behind a wall for a solid half a second before you threw that hook. All right, let's apply some pressure. Where can you go to apply pressure? We don't need two people on cart. Go get somebody. Sure, we don't even need our hook for that. Good stuff. I like our cover here. So with positioning with Roadhog, the only rule is cover. The only rule is cover. So find cover either here, or you could have gone high ground and gone here. Just cover. This is fine. Yeah. There it is. We actually put some effort into it. If we'd missed that one because of deflect or something like that, that's fine. You put effort into it. Go back and hold that corner. Go back and hold that corner. With or without hook. No sitting on cart. Go back and hold the corner. Good job. Don't peel. Why? Because it's too far away. You're too slow. This Ana is just as close, if not closer, than Doomfist, so therefore she's your priority. You only deal with threats that are priority to your position. I don't care if you're like, oh, I can hook Doom. Yeah, you can. But Ana can also kill your backline. And then Doomfist can punch out. You see what I'm saying? Your responsibility was Ana, not because Ana is the most important target for you to deal with in a vacuum. It's because she was the closest, and she's the smallest, and she's the easiest to kill. Now your priority would be to hook Genji if you had it. Where's your corner right here? Where's the corner that you want to play? Sure. Careful of your little flicking there before you hit the hook. It's a good hook though. Now, one thing you can do with Roadhog is as you get higher in rank and as you get play versus better players are going to take positions other than just sitting on cart. Being Roadhog, you don't have a lot of mobility, but whenever you have time, you can also preventatively try to take positions the enemy team might try to take and then use those positions yourself. Let me give you an example. So you failed on the Doomfist peel and you let the Ana get out, you let Doomfist get out. Okay. You have time now to choose a corner other than cart. So where would that position be? I'm going to have you pause the video here because I'm going to spoil it in a second, but you tell me, where should that position be? Now the answer is high ground. Now does that mean that Roadhog always has to play high ground? No. But if you start here and there's nobody here, that's good. Don't let them come here and kill whoever comes here. And then if you want to and you need to drop, that's fine. But you could have done everything that you're doing from here, from high ground, while also denying this. And this is what a tank does, is he puts himself in positions that pressure the enemy team that also stop the enemy team from being here, right? Now, does that mean that you need to be playing all the way on top of the plane? Well, maybe not, because you can't really do anything from here. All you do is you stop the enemy team from being here. But you can do stuff from here. You can do stuff from here. So don't just think I stand on front lane and I shoot and I hook. Maybe there's an off angle that you can play. Maybe there's a high ground that you can play. And this is what we're looking for when you're playing this. Very lazy hook from you. By lazy, I mean unintentional. We're not looking at their movement. We're not really cautiously aiming. If you miss, you miss. That's all right. But miss with effort. That felt like a miss with effort. You were going for the Ana. You just barely missed it. I'm okay with that. Good stuff. Even with your gun, miss with effort. Sure, peel Doomfist, because he's right there. Okay. I still do. Let's go. That's okay. That was like, again, felt like a relatively effortful miss. You got to make a decision here. Are you going to commit to getting rid of that soldier? Or are you going to commit on holding the line here and allowing your team to deal with soldier? I think you should commit to holding the line here. I don't think you have the mobility or time to go here because you're too far away. You have to trust your team. But that doesn't mean that you need to not let your Genji or your Bastion die to Genji because you were thinking about the soldier, right? You have to commit. Wherever you're applying pressure, whether it's Ramattra, Roadhog, or Sigma, you deal with what you can and don't worry about the other stuff. Because you didn't actually do anything. But what you did do is you let this guy come in and you let this guy come in, right? It's not that the soldier's not a target priority if he's there, but if he's not there, it's not your problem. Right. You just apply pressure as much as you can from the positions that you can. It is not your tank's job to protect your team through some indirect measure. It is to protect your team directly by threatening the enemy team when and where you can. Right now, Doomfist is your problem or Genji is your problem because they're here. But when they're not here, they're not your problem. The same thing goes to the soldier. Good. That was fine. You would have hooked him if he didn't die. Now deal with the Doomfist because he's close. You need to be a little bit more deliberate with your cover usage here because even a Roadhog can die when you're walking around in the open. So the corner needs to be a little bit more deliberately stuck with. Okay, let's keep going. Good. You can go for Ana or Genji here because they're both close, so you can pressure both. Good try. Find your cover. So you swung wide. Here, what advantage do you get from being here that is better here? You see? Nothing. You just took unnecessary damage. Miss your hook, hit your shots, go back to the corner, and then keep shooting. This is unnecessary damage. And so now this forces your team's pocket and your vape, and so then now you're in a lower HP situation to actually do things. Hook misses again. Just reset at this point. We missed too many hooks, we took too much damage in the open, and now we're gonna die. Good. Just a small little detail. I think your perk choices for the Ramattra were fine. I don't like this perk choice from you. It generally just means that if you're mismanaging your ammo, you're going to have some issues, yes. But the most important thing is the other minor perk that gives you more vape resource, which is a huge deal. Huge deal. Especially when you get stuff like the vape heals your team, or more importantly, the vape gives you speed boost. That's by far the best, one of the best major minor perks in the entire game, actually. So, not that this one is useless. It's fine. It's just not the best perk. Sure, that's fine. It's fine. Okay. Get that Doom, he's right there, get him. Nice. Good. Force some CDs, hold that corner. Very similar to Ramattra. I don't like us swinging wide here. There's no benefit to being here. You're either all the way here on the angle, or you're on the corner. It's not that you have to stay on top of your team or on the corner. You can take space, but don't take space open. Take space closed. Take space closed, right? In closed areas. Corner cover, corner cover, corner cover. Good try with the hook. Or at least trying to use cover. Don't go backwards. So once he's gone here, he is no longer your problem. Can you guess what's directly behind you? Right? There. This is your problem. This is what's going to kill you and kill your team. You see? You see? This is the problem. And you did nothing to help the Doomfist. Not because you suck. No. It's because you couldn't. He's too far away. It's not your problem. You can't deal with it. How could you possibly deal with that? Instead, you could not get naded. Right? Or threaten this coalescence. Right? That's your responsibility. Everything with Roadhog is a question of convenience. How can I pressure people when they're far away? The answer is you can't. So you need to find either position or deal with the ones that are close to you. Now, you could go for soldier here. Like, there is time. You could go clear that out if you want to, or you could hold the line here. Just use cover while you're doing so. Pray that your team deals with the soldier. Good hook. Good. Now, that means soldier's still a problem, you know? But you know what this means? It means that only soldier's a problem, because everything else is dealt with here, right? You're dealing with that here. You're not even looking at the Doomfist right now. You're too busy focusing on what's on your screen. And look what's happening. Right? Still winning. I don't like this. I mean, this Genji's kind of more of a priority because he's right there. But yeah, all right. Good job. So, here are your goals with Roadhog. We've already talked about Ramattra. Your goals with Roadhog are find your corner, find your cover. Deal with the threats that are directly on your screen and be very deliberate with your hooks. If you miss it, it's fine. It doesn't mean you have to slow your hooks all the time, but there's no lazy hooks. This character is so top heavy in terms of his value, more top heavy than any character in the game. He's basically the Widowmaker of tanks. It's not that you're useless without hook, it's just that you're significantly less useful without it. So taking that into account, practice those things. Deliberately practice those things. Try experimenting with other minor perk. Let me know what you think. And if you have any questions, let me know. Practice each one of these skills in individuality. You go into a game, you're practicing that skill for the game. You go into that game, I'm practicing this skill for a game. It doesn't matter which skill you practice. It really doesn't matter. That's how you practice Overwatch at this particular level. Go in, have a reason for playing the game, and the next game, win or loss, do it again. Let me know if you have any questions, mate. Cheers.